Today's guest is Sam from Prosper Films. He's a West Midland-based videographer with an alternative approach to wedding films. Sam, thanks for coming in, mate.
Thanks for having me.
How did you get into weddings?
Lockdown. It's got to have been lockdown. I had cameras before. My dad's always had cameras. This sounds weird. My dad used to sit in the shed with a film camera and this little pump thing to trigger the shutter.
Oh, God.
And he used to photograph birds coming out of the bird box.
I'm glad
Not
you said
birds.
that.
A little pump thing. What is he doing?
He used to sit in a shed.
Trigger the shutter and the pump in the shed.
Take photographs of birds on the beach. No. So I think that's probably where it kind of stemmed from. And then throughout lockdown, I was just like, I need to just do something different. And like in the year before that, I'd been faffing around with video. Everyone watching Peter McKinnon and YouTubers.
Casey Neistat, maybe.
Yeah, Casey Neistat. Just like filming everything. And I was like, oh, this is cool. I could do that. And I was working in a pub at the time and they wanted like loads of social media doing. So I started doing like little video reels and they were doing like competitions where they could do like this drink of the week thing. And people would be like, oh, you've got to take a photo of the drink and the bottle. The people who get the best one win a prize. And I was like, cool, I can do that.
Yeah. I'll bring out the big Sony.
So I took my A6500 into work and I was like, yeah, I'll get some snaps of stuff. And then I was like, well, actually, I could do loads of slow-mo videos and like just some little weird things. So.
Yeah. So you're pretty new then, like, because when I say that, when was lockdown? 2020?
Yep.
That's actually that's 4 years ago. It feels like it was like maybe a year or two ago. So that's when you kind of, started to think about it more seriously.
Yeah, I don't really know what triggered it, to be honest.
Boredom in lockdown.
Yeah, I was furloughed, so like I was quite lucky. But with all that money, I was like, I can't spend it anywhere.
Right.
So I bought all my gear and slung it all on a credit card. And then she paid it. I'm quite good with money, so I'll trust myself with a credit card.
Mitch isn't.
I am mostly. I just
he just likes buying stuff.
I just do like.
Yeah, I put it all on a credit card and then just paid off like £900 a month, like solidly on it all the time.
So you went in proper.
Yeah, and I just bought a load of gear and just tried to learn absolutely everything about what everything. I'm one of those people.
Yeah,
I don't just. If someone gives me a camera, I want to know everything that it does.
Yeah.
And what this button, how that affects that, and
Yeah, you go in super technical. That's a bit like you, isn't it, really?
Not mostly.
Yeah, because if I want to know something about a camera, you go, oh yeah, Mitch, I just ask him. Because he knows all the specs, all how the menus work. No, you want to put this here and you hotkey there, and I'm like, yeah, right, yeah, I just like press record.
I kind of felt like a bit of a knobhead though, because we went to the photo video shop and I was telling the salesman about the specs of something he was trying to sell me. And he was like, oh, let me check that.
And I was like, no, you don't need to.
You're actually looking at the wrong one, thanks. Yeah, this is
No, it's good. So, like, how did you do what most people do and they shoot a wedding for free, just get experience, or did you?
Yeah, we shot Pipa's brother's wedding in lockdown.
Pipa being your
lockdown.
Yeah, my other half.
So you and another 4 people. You do another.
Yeah, it was mad. No, it was actually like it was the
30 limit. Or
do you remember they were like there's a week. There was like a week in September or 2 weeks where they were like, oh yeah, no, you can do weddings again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then they went, nah.
Sorry, mate. Sorry, we'll take that away. Pull the rug. Yeah.
I think it was like the 5th or 6th of September. Went and filmed his wedding, and I filmed the whole day on a gimbal.
Oh, I bet your shoulders felt that.
Yeah. I still remember the pain.
Do you go more handheld now then?
Yeah, I'll do a lot. I mean, I do gimbal for like. It depends what's going on. If it's the type of couple that are doing portrait shots where we'll do a bit of walking. It just requires something a bit smoother. Or walking down the aisle when they're doing or confetti and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but then
same.
It depends on what the couple's like.
Yeah,
sometimes I do it handheld. Sometimes I do it on a gimbal. But
okay,
I ain't doing a ceremony on a gimbal.
No,
I wanted I had one static angle. And it was just going, I was like, that's my main.
Yeah.
And the rest is like, just cuts in. I was trying to do all these
little moves. I photographed a wedding a couple of weeks ago and 2 videographers both did the ceremony on gimbal and speeches on gimbal, just holding it like that and then moving it around.
No.
Yeah, no, honestly, I was just like, I bet you. And like, when the ceremony was it was like a 20-minute ceremony, but just imagine holding the gimbal like this, 20 minutes. It's just no chance.
Honestly,
I think that's what I did when I started. And then I was like, nah, I'll get them on tripod style. Obviously, Sam, as people won't know, I've hired Sam for my own wedding next year because I feel like you stand out a little bit, but also because Mitch is a guest, so I can't ask him.
So I was second.
Sorry, mate. But to me, and people won't see, your footage on here, but I feel like you stand out a little bit compared to others. But what would you say sets you apart from what you would call a standard wedding videographer or video production team?
That's a tough one. For me, I think what makes a good video is just the true documentation of the day, but and using a lot of the audio. I think there's no right way or wrong of doing it. Like some people we've had messages, they'll ask for just a video with music over the top, and it's just not what we do. I find that hard to edit because I just get bored editing it.
Yeah.
So for us, like what my edit process is, I find music after about 6 hours. I have 6 hours of crying on music bed.
You're a better man than I am.
And then I will like find the best bits of speeches and I'll chop them up and paste them like throughout the film. I feel like I'm telling you how your film's going to work out now.
Yeah, no, I am. I've seen your stuff. It's okay.
It's okay.
Thanks.
As in, it's okay that you're telling me your process. Not it's okay. Yeah, you know. You was cheapish.
But yeah, like I'll chop up a speech. I don't just put the speech in. I'll like chop it up and paste it. And I'll reorder things, and if I think that makes it more like personal or emotional, I'll go based on like a bit of a feeling. That sounds really.
No, that's good though.
No, it is. It is. I think as an editor, you have this like, it's almost like this sixth sense, isn't it? That it's hard to explain to someone else.
You hear a rise in the music, you go, right, okay, that needs to go.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know. I just like to make a story out of it. That sounds a little bit cliche.
Yeah,
people
I
go,
know
it's
what you
all
mean.
about the story. It's all about the story, and you go, yeah.
But it is. But there's a lot of wedding videos out there that don't tell a story. And if anyone knows Justin Porter, right, like that's his whole thing. He's got this whole reality TV style, and he hates the super polished look.
Yeah. Is that the guy with the big rig?
Yeah, the black dude, big beard. Yeah, he
really nice guy, but I don't know how he does it.
No, he's got insane energy.
The thing is, like in America though, like, ceremonies are like 6 p.m. or something like that.
Yeah. So he's got time to interview like bridesmaids, and he mics up like he said. Sometimes he'll have 40 mics. Yeah, that's insane. How's it? Oh God, imagine that edit.
Yeah,
it's one of those things. I think like UK weddings. I think for filming weddings, I think you should just keep it real, and you should try not to fake anything. There's a lot of weddings that they'll look gorgeous, but you know that you've manufactured that part of their day, and then that's all they're going to remember. So for me, it's like I'll put you in a nice location. Like if it's a nice, put you by a window because it's better than a ring light.
Yeah.
And we'll pop you in a nice spot, but I'm not going to force you to do things that are just
Rachel
real.
will be very happy about that because she just wants it as candid as possible. I said we will go out and go around the grounds and stuff, but she just wants us being ourselves. And she says, you've got about 3 seconds of pointing a camera at me before I start doing a weird smile. She's like, we've got to be quick. So she goes, we need to tell Ian, we need to tell Sam, happy to go out and do stuff.
See, those are my favourite kind of couples, though. It's awkward makes things way better for video.
Because then you start laughing and giggling, and that's the part you want. And you want that wholesome part of it where you're just having a little bit of fun, being a little bit silly. And I love that part.
There's certain shots I like to get. Like, you've got to go on portraits. It's the only 100%. Time in the day when you're actually together on your own. It's a nice sort of breakaway. We can go and have a laugh, take some Prosecco.
Yeah,
this is an insight again.
No, this is
the golf cart.
This is what there is at Foxtel as well, isn't there? So that we'll go raz on that with even shots of us driving that while drinking prosecco and things like that. That's
gonna be so weird for me because I want to be a part of that. Can I come
you can be on the back of the golf.
I like getting get the grooms and brides people.
Yeah.
Brides people.
You can't because they might identify.
True. I apologise. I picked some out there when I was technically at fault. So
Mitch, it's 2020.
It's just because I couldn't think of the words.
How do you balance like those intimate moments with actually pointing a camera at someone? Because obviously you want people to be really candid, like we said, and get those moments, but also not interrupt it and sort of it's a difficult balance I've found. How do you deal with it?
It is a difficult balance.
Can you just say that thing you said candidly again?
Yeah. It's difficult. It depends how comfortable people are in front of a camera, but I'm quite sort of not a loud person, but I will try and entertain people and take their mind off it. Yeah. Or what I sometimes do is I'll set a camera up. Like say they're having makeup done, they're very sort of aware there's a camera pointing at them, so they're like,
So you stealthily record them.
So I'll either make a joke, I'll be like, you can breathe, you know, and like just say little things to settle them down, or I'll ask them questions, and then once they've forgotten that I'm recording, I'll sometimes like leave my monopod just stood there, and I'll walk off, and I won't tell them.
That's a good idea.
So that you get those little bits, but I don't know.
I kind of do that with the corporate stuff.
Yeah.
Where I'll hit record. And when they're just chill, and sometimes they'll have these little off-camera moments that show their personality, and I guess that's a similar thing, because the amount of ones I've shot where I think I realised recently, I think I was with you on that Burnt Chef project, I took my headphones off on a guy, he was a bit comfortable, that last chef, I put the headphones down, and I just leaned away and I started chatting to him, and he just loosened up, because he thought, oh, headphones are off, we're not recording, but I was still going.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely getting the banter in and making them feel comfortable.
Yeah. You've got to be a people person to do this job.
You've got to be just a bit personal with them, in the sense of just literally just have a bit of a chat with them and just say, oh, you're getting on, how's your day going?
Yeah.
Oh, you look really lovely, you know, and all those just little things. I'm like, oh, all right then, yeah. And then they'll start chatting and
and also someone said it as well, which I thought was good, is not when you first meet them, not going in with your camera and just like going and saying hello, and they're like, oh, right, because you come in with the camera and it's all, and it's a video
bursting in like that meme where
hi,
where the SAS like kicks through the door.
Yeah,
Everybody get down. You're like,
so what do you love about your husband?
tell me, say something nice, don't make it.
say it again into the microphone.
Yeah, let me love you first.
Christ, yeah.
In like one of those gowns that's like this.
Try that next time.
Oh, yeah.
Going back to it though, I like to have Zoom calls with people, so I had one with you.
Yeah.
I can't go into a wedding blind, so I have to have a chat with them first.
Yeah.
Just because I want to see if they're right for us. Because if they're not, like I had a couple recently that we clearly weren't right for. She loved our work, but wanted to change everything about it.
Oh, we love
so
your work, but can you edit it like this person?
Yeah.
Who happens to be $4,500 and not available.
Yeah. So I turned it down because they're not right for me. Like, I think you should do that from the start. It's a weird business move.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I've definitely stuck to it.
Like, I, if I'm honest with you, I do see pound signs a lot of the time with a lot of work.
Yeah,
I can say something like that. And then there's been work I've gone, just really don't want to do it, and I'm not enjoying it at all. Yeah, I'm getting paid for it. But on the flip side of that is the fact that, and then they're not putting my full effort into it because it's not really for me. Do you know what I mean? They're going to have a great video, they're going to do that, but it's not for me. I'm not enjoying it. Whereas if you feel comfortable with them because you know that you're kind of on the same wavelength, you can just do you. Then rather than thinking, oh God, if I don't quite do it this way, they might kick back or something, then you're not going to do the best that you can do. Yeah. And then you'll be like,
you've got to be invested, and that can be for any client, whether it's like, you know, as we said earlier off camera, like taking jobs where you take them a little bit less because you want the money, and then you kind of like they ask for a little bit more, and you resent
you
them.
put that on your story this morning, didn't
you?
you?
I did that on the story. Yeah, because it happened to a mate of mine. So he took on a wedding. He's new. He charged X amount. I think it was $1,000 because he's coming up in the wedding videography business. Yeah. And they bartered him down to 800, and now he's like, they want him to stay another 45 minutes to an hour, and he's kind of resenting that. He's like, well, I did it cheap. You have the same feeling sometimes.
Yeah, I've done that a couple of times.
And it's like, you're right. I think if you've got that fit, you're being paid the money you want.
Yeah.
You're bonding with them as people. The whole day is going to be way better.
Yeah, it's going to be more fun. Yeah. You're going to have a laugh with it.
Exactly.
But costs are one of those things. Like I'll say to people, if you are working towards a budget, tell me. Don't just not message back, because if I can help, I will help.
Yeah.
But sometimes it does come back with like,
Can you do it for 200 quid?
To be honest, it really rarely happens that people will come back and question it. But
I think we do get a few.
I've had one recently, and it's just, they're a lovely couple, and it's at Stockton.
Oh yeah, no.
Shout out Stockton.
You live there.
Yeah, I love Amy there. Yeah, she's such a good friend. She's the one who's like pretty much helped us from the start. I think we did one wedding at our old venue, and then she was just like, I love you guys. And I was like,
so you keep saying we. It's because you...
I shoot with Pipa, I say we all the time. To be honest, I say we on emails. It's just me.
Yeah. I'm an agency. Yeah, but you shoot with...
We're both sitting at the computer next to each other, and then we want to type a little. We're both here.
We conjoined.
So you shoot together. So there's two of you. Yeah. So how's that work? Have you got your own jobs? You do groom prep, or she does bridal prep? How do you work it?
We mainly do stuff together. Pippa like doesn't do anything with cameras. She's done like theatre work, TV work. So in interview situations and stuff like that, she comes in great because she will watch people like a hawk and be like, for continuity, she'll be like, you didn't do that in the last take. We need to go back and do this. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
For weddings, she just does sort of like backup cam. Like, I can shoot a wedding pretty much on my own, but I'm too paranoid to leave a camera at the back of the room of a ceremony or with speeches. I'd rather have someone there. At least, even if it does go wrong, they can go, it's gone wrong.
Yeah. Like, when you're waiting 20 minutes later and go,
it's all gone wrong.
Yeah, Christ.
And you go, at least I know now and I can panic now.
Rather than later.
Panic now.
And having a girl at a wedding is so good.
Oh, yeah.
She will, like, she sorts out people's pocket square. She was a dresser in, like, theatre. She's dressed like people.
Oh, she's doing the buttonholes and...
Yeah.
Because it's always a woman that does that at a wedding. Because the lads are like, do this, mate. And
she'll tell one of them how to do it, and then everyone will repeat after that. Or she sorts out people. Like,
I do. Bev, my partner, she's done a couple of bits with me.
Yeah.
And you're exactly right with that, because I find naturally, to some extent, like I'll have more of a oi 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 kind of thing with the groom, not necessarily with the bride.
I've just got this vision of you walking in there going oi 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 oi. Record.
Sorry,
Savaloy.
I probably wasn't. I don't know why I said that. I've never said that before.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? And like a report. And then obviously when Bev's come in, I feel that the bride has opened up a little bit easier, a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
With Bev being there, because it's just that kind of,
it's another female. Yeah. I can get that.
And it's definitely can see how that works.
Yeah. And she does a lot of Pippa does a lot of, we call it dad cam. So everyone's sort of introducing these like old nostalgic sort of looks to films, which I love.
Yeah.
Because I think there's certain moments of a wedding day that will never look good on like a posh camera.
Yeah.
You know, like when all the bridesmaids are sitting down there just chinking glasses, and it's for a photo because for video it's like it's a manufactured moment. But I get it; it'll work. On an old camera, it looks great because it looks like everyone's just got in the bath and gone, "Whee!"
Yeah.
Whereas on a posh camera, it just looks like you've set it up.
Yeah, I've seen
and
that with yours.
It's never framed right, and you kind of go, nah. Same with cake cutting. I did cake cutting on dad cam now because it's.
When you say that, do you use a proper camera and you do some form? Do you use some form of like effects on it, or literally you are filming on?
Yeah, we cheat.
Sorry, everybody.
I ain't doing Super 8. It's expensive. I've got a Super 8 camera, but it's so expensive.
Well, you use an old camera, or you just
we use an old like Canon
point and shoot
dad cam, we call it.
Yeah. That's how I used to have one, because that's when I first started editing. I used to have them, and they had like a video mode, and it'd have 20 seconds. Yeah, that was it, a limit. Yeah. But it looks cool, and you can get them now for like 50 quid on eBay.
We bought it for 30 quid on eBay, and they bought some extra batteries.
And it's just that lo-fi, authentic old.
And then I'd run it through Dehancer.
Oh, right, yeah.
Dehancer's like witchcraft.
Yeah, I love I've noticed you use Dehancer.
It's so good.
Yeah. A lot of our audience are quite, I guess, our target audience is helping other videographers come through, maybe learn a bit from us. We're not the most experienced people in the room. Well,
we are the best.
I view you as quite experienced.
Oh, do you? Yeah. Oh, well, that's good then.
When you asked me to film your wedding,
you when he said that, but not us. He's looking at you.
No, that both of you are. Like, no.
Okay.
I'll agree with you. He's kind of like,
I've been doing it a year longer, but anyway. So. Yeah, kind of like advice and value to others that are coming through into the wedding industry, and maybe how, if they're incorporating the thinking of weddings, how do the two compare? What would your advice be? Now you've been doing it full time for 4 years?
Be approachable.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing. I think you've got to be like a really approachable person, because I think probably all of our bookings have probably been based on the fact that we've had a laugh on shoots or we've had a laugh in meetings. And don't try and over deliver. Like, again, like to go back to weddings, don't try and do all these stage shoots and market yourself on stage shoots, because they're just not achievable at weddings.
Yeah, that's a little gripe of mine, is staged shoots, although they look good.
Yeah.
We both know, or you guys do a lot more weddings than me, but we both know that level of production is not achievable in a day.
It's not.
I think it can be achievable if they're a type of couple that acknowledge that. Now, what I find is the bride wants to do that, and then the groom doesn't.
Yeah.
And then the groom, and then you go, okay, so I'm going to try and do this, and then the groom gets a bit grumpy
I don't see the
about it.
point.
Yeah. Which is totally fine because it's not him, it's the bride that wants it. And I understand why the bride wants it, but then the groom is on the same page.
Yeah.
And that then I just get a bit like, oh, okay, yeah, no problem. And then I feel like I haven't delivered. It's like you say, and then I'm not delivering what I feel like I've agreed to do. And then I feel again like, about it. And it's just,
I'd set it out from the start. Just this is what I do.
Yeah.
That's it.
So basically you go, it's a little bit different because to maybe other professions, people come to you for a style, right? They go, I like what Sam at Prosper does, therefore I want that. So I think, if they're, like you said earlier, if they come and go, I like what you do, but can we...
But can you not do it?
Can you not do that? We want something a bit different. And I had that with a couple recently. They wanted to do some other stuff. And I was like, well, did you look over the video that you were sent? Oh, yeah, we loved it. But we were thinking of doing something different. And I had to steer them back around because it was, I can't remember what it was now, but it really throws you off. You're like, oh, God, I don't know how to do that.
But you've got to, again, like going back to being approachable, you've got to be nice about it and maybe guide them in it. Like,
So don't call
I sent
them a
someone to you
dickhead.
recently. Don't go.
Don't.
Tough. Respectfully.
Of course, yeah.
I sent someone to you, didn't I, recently? Because I'm all for one of, like, definitely when you start out, push yourself to do things. Like when we first started, I took on 5 days of back-to-back interviews, having never done interviews.
Oh, wow.
But you've got to do it. You just wing it, don't you? That's how you learn.
Yeah, 100%.
But you find out what you don't like doing and what you just, you're not quite, that's not your ballpark. Like you paired, like do these things all the time, don't you? When you go to like, you're going to film in a factory and then it, like that, you did one in like some wood factory recently. I don't know what it was, but it looked stunning.
Yes.
And you've got like this whole setup in the factory in the background. I was like, if I did that, I would hate every second of it.
Really?
Not the filming bit of it. I'd just know that I'd get back and go, well, that's lovely. I've got loads of B-roll of a machine doing this.
Yeah.
And then I'd go, that's a useless shot. And then I'd hate myself for a week.
Yeah.
It's all right. For me, I think like sometimes you can make that look good, but I guess if you're not into that, and that was part of a bigger project, wasn't it, for this developer? But yeah, I enjoyed that. But you've got to do what you if you're like the same thing.
Yeah. It's not like a stay in your lane sort of thing. Definitely push yourself, but just be approachable and.
Yeah, so basically what you're saying is don't be a dickhead and
be just a nice person.
be nice.
But don't hide behind these marketing things like, we were saying about stage shoots and stuff. Don't hide behind that. I think you should, like every time I post a stupid video of myself, or even if it's just me playing guitar or something, like I get so many more likes on stuff like that, or so much more interaction rather.
It seems genuine, doesn't it, really?
I think people get to meet who you are.
And
rather than being
cliche,
it's a business.
Cliche AF, but it's people buy from people.
Yeah.
The amount of times you or any of us has probably hired a labourer like a chippy or somebody because I like him. He's a good dude.
We've just had that. So we're just looking at getting our house painted. I don't know why that was really weird. And we had a couple of people come round and we feel that we've decided on one person because it was exactly that.
Yeah, because
he felt more approachable.
He was the dude.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he's even more expensive than some of the other ones. It was just like we're happy to have him in our house kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was, you know what I mean? So
especially if they're coming in your house. It's your space in it.
Yeah, exactly.
This is my safe zone.
What does that?
Yeah. Isn't that what they do?
Yeah.
It's my safe space.
Yeah.
It's that film.
You cannot come here.
So you're pretty busy with the weddings. Like, how do you generally get your leads? How do people find you and book you? Or how do you find them, essentially?
I don't know.
There we go. Next question.
Honestly, this year we've got like quite a few in Yorkshire and Sheffield sort of way. Oh. And I don't know how people find us. It's got to be through just either weddings that we've done. Like I remember doing one up there last year. And then I came back and I'd got people sort of asking, maybe it's because we tagged ourselves there or something. I don't know.
Do you share anything from like the venues or anything like that? Do you kind of do anything?
Sometimes, like if they ask for it, I'll do it. It's one of those things where it is extra work, isn't it? When you want to provide a venue with like content, you want it to be your best.
Yeah.
Because if it ain't your best, you're like, don't market me on this. I wouldn't, so don't do it to me.
Do you ever collaborate with them on Insta? Tried the ones you've done a banger teaser and you're like, right, let's collab with them.
Yeah, it depends what venue it is. If I like the venue,
one, yeah.
I'll guess.
And you want to go back there.
I was gonna say that, yeah.
So it's like with Stockton, for example, like I do a lot of work with them, and I'll help them out because Amy literally shouts our name from the rooftop.
Yeah.
And it's not, she'll still get other videographers in and stuff like that, but she's really helpful to know as a person. Like she's such a nice person.
So you're saying it's basically word of mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We tried Google ads. I've tried paying ads on Instagram, but it's the same thing when everyone got hyped up on Reels. Or you got to do Reels. You'll get loads of views on Reels, and I'm like, yeah, I get loads of views on Reels, but it's not from anyone that's going to hire us. It doesn't convert to anything. It's just
somebody's nan just
it's just people in America.
Yeah. Not wanting. Yeah, I can travel to America and film.
Yeah.
You do much international?
I'd like to. It's figuring out the logistics of it. We got asked to do one in France, but I think for me it was like the couple weren't quite right, and I was like, I don't really want to just commit to that and go for it. Figuring out I'm such a panicker for weddings. You're the same. when me and you did that wedding together, I realised I was like, I'm not alone. I like to know that I'm there at 9 a.m. I'm set up for your ceremony straight away because I can't be panicking with the faff of getting all my tripods out. So to do that and then fly abroad, where I can't really take all my gear with me. Like you've got to pack down, haven't you? For that?
Yeah. We've done a couple of shoots abroad, and it's kind of like you do kind of limit what you want, so you haven't technically got backups or the stuff you're used to using. So you're kind of going it with like knowing how your equipment works, but not quite knowing how some of it works. And it's just that stress of like, when I went to New York, my bag got delayed by 2 days.
Yeah,
and I was like,
what would you do?
What am I going to do with that?
Yeah.
Like, luckily, I had my cameras, but I had nothing else. I had nothing else. And again, it's right in
clean
that.
boxes.
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
Turn them inside out.
So get that definitely.
Yeah, it just seems like such a stress, and then it's the expectation on top of that. With like they've paid for you to go there, do they then have this sort of underlying expectation? You're like,
you're going to
we did this
more
for you, so you've got to do this for us.
Yeah,
it's a weird one. Where like, I was doing a wedding the other week, and someone was like, "You need to put your prices up." I think you said it to us as well.
Yeah, I said not with me, but obviously,
not now,
not now. Maybe later.
But I don't know. I find we're in this like sweet spot at the moment where I get the couples I like, and I get the venues that I like. They don't expect the world, and then they're not like the cheaper side of people who will, try and, get, like you said earlier, they'll try and get more out of you for less. So I'm happy where we are.
You seem to be doing well, and I like your videos, and that's all that matters.
So we don't take that many. We only take we've got 4 weddings a month, which is more than enough for me. I don't want to get bogged down with
4
it.
a month, that's 1 a week. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Nice lot of steady flow.
Yeah. I think any more than that, like you get photographers do it like back to back, don't they? I'm like, no, I'd be crippled.
I do think I think I think it's a little bit different in regards to photography because they've got a lot of editing assistants, haven't they now?
Yeah.
But video,
and it's literally just a backpack.
Yeah, right in it.
I'm going to the next venue, bye. With us, it'd be like, I'm going to charge like 20 batteries. So,
Yeah.
And empty the microphones. And
But I've got quite a few like wedding videographer friends that I just like, I've just booked 15. I've got a couple more, might do 60. 60. I think I did 40 last year, and it crippled me.
Yeah.
In regards to the editing side, I love the shooting because I am definitely a shooter. The editing just crippled me. I just like, especially as I was doing corporate work and I was quite busy in the corporate work side. I was just like, fuck.
It does kill you off, doesn't it?
It was just, and people are like, oh well, you've had 12 weeks to edit. I said, I know, and I'm so sorry that I haven't done it yet.
Because I've got 12 weeks.
The thing is though, like you can't rush these things. Like you have to. Like for me, I try and do people's trailer within the first week, but I will not look at that footage.
Yeah.
For like a week or so afterwards, because it's not like
I'm sick of seeing it.
Yeah, it's not like but you have to get like a fresh mind on it. Like the wedding film that I've done recently, like I've done the first half of it. I did the first half in the first week, and I was like, oh, I'm on a roll here.
Yeah.
And then I got to a certain point where I was just like brick walled and was like, I don't know what to do. So I had to leave it, and I came back to it a week later, and I was like, oh, it's this, it's fine. I can do this, put that there, done. Yeah. But you can't really rush the editing stage. So taking on more weddings, you'd just be like, you'd have a backlog to the next year.
I think this year I've got 26. Or something like 26, 27. But I haven't done anything more in regards to pushing it I'm actually feel like quite happy with that now. Like if something comes in, but if it doesn't, I'm not like, oh my God, I haven't hit my 40. Like I haven't set myself, I've got to have 40 or anything like that. I'm just
not looking to be one of those. I'm not looking to be an absolute, like if I end up being a millionaire, sound, but I'm not one of those people.
Sound,
that will go,
super casual.
sound.
Next year.
Here's $1 million. Oh, sound.
So
but I'm not one of those people that will go and like grind myself into the floor, because then people aren't going to get the films out of you that they booked you for.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be
half dead.
Yeah.
It's
just going to be, at the end of Harry Potter when Voldemort's that little crippled ball of thing under a chair. That's what you look like.
That's a meme. You need to create that meme. Me at the end of the wedding season. Yeah.
So it's been great speaking to you, mate.
Thank you.
Where can people find you? Social media stuff?
Do you want to do comedy angle?
Yeah.
Which one?
You can find us on Instagram. Everyone's on Instagram, so it's PRSPR Films on Instagram, which stands for Prosper, because everyone goes, what's PRSPR?
I never knew that until like quite a bit later. I'm like, PRSPR, and someone said, I think it was in your brand, it said Prosper Films.
That's why I've changed
now
it.
It's Prosper.
I've now just put the word Prosper, because I reckon we've probably lost so many jobs through people going,
PR.
Who did your film? It was
it was
I can't remember.
Piss Poor.
Piss Poor Films, something like that.
Something like that. Anyway,
it reflected in the name.
we're going to wrap up there, but Sam is going to be back on another episode where we're going to do some quick-fire questions, which he's really looking forward to. So we can do some really sharp, quick, value-based questions with Sam. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.